So good evening. I'm making my weekly video about the place tonight just for simple fact I will be out of town tomorrow and it's slightly raining right now, so um, it's not going to be so much any one topic today, but just kind of some other stuff I touched base on before and some other miscellaneous thing. So today we are out in our front yard. And one thing I wanted to do was talk about why we are doing this. We're not completely trying to go off grid. It'd be a good dream at some point, but I mean, it ain't gonna happen. No way. Nope. Um, for us personally, through all this, we have decided and got accepted our two children and to do homeschooling next year. So that's gonna be a little something to look forward to. So aside of cutting money, cutting as many expenses as possible, doesn't mean you have to live bad. If there's one thing everyone should have learned through this all COVID, whether you believe it's a scam or it's legitimate or not, whether you believe it's conspiracy, to me it don't matter. I have my own views, and yeah, I'll probably make a couple video clips here and then going on rants. But for me, like everybody, it's a problem. However, there's one thing I've learned in my life. Once you identify things that are problems, you can work on them. So, if you have a problem though, and you recognize it's a problem, and you don't work on it, or you keep running away or pushing the responsibility on someone else, that's when I have an issue, and that's when I can become a jerk. And that's just me, but I mean, I'm sorry, it's a fact. There's a lot of things I've went through in my life, a lot of hardships. I'm not looking for any sympathy, okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. But I'll tell you straight up, and this is probably the closest you'll ever hear me in this video series to play a quote-unquote reverse race card. Until I was married, I was raising 3 children on my own. And I could really give a crap what single mothers say, what minorities could say, or what other of the 80,000 genders could say. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a male alone, let alone a straight white one with custody of your kids, you have 10 times the battle of child support because they're full of a bunch of man-hating idiots. A liberal court system that still sides with the mother and will find any way to do it. And if they can't, they'll screw the male on there. There's more programs and more everything for the women. So I've learned to adapt. So I'm not trying to sit there and have a sympathy party here. But if somebody tells me, well, you're lucky for this, I will tell them to get bent. And that's a pretty nice way of saying it because I've pretty much worked for everything I've had. I've cut corners. I've lived like a pauper to make sure my kids could have food on the table and shelter around. And when it gets to that point, I have little sympathy for someone who's sitting there on welfare, getting free rent, free food, free utilities, and sitting there with an arm sleeve full of freaking tattoos, an $800 cell phone, and sitting there putting away her food stamp card so she can pay cash for a bottle of Jack and a couple cases of beer in the cart. So, realistically, yeah, if you want something bad enough, earn it, fight for it, whatever. I'm blessed because when I wasn't looking, the Almighty put the most awesome woman into my life with the same views, same attitudes, and she had her personal hell to face too, and we did, and we just complement each other awesome. So when we decided to do this, it was not only for to live a little more conservatively, but to live better in general, not to reduce as much waste as possible. So kind of along the permaculture attitude, plan things to complement each other so we can work in symbiosis. Grow as much of your own food as possible. Prepare for the worst. That was a good one. I've always tried to prepare for the worst, and there's no shame when people will go and say, well, this was all unprepared. Yeah, it was unprepared, and guess what? If you're honest enough with yourself and you look at the mistakes you make, you can prepare for when it comes around the next time or it gets a little worse, and that's what we're doing. So, with that being said, let's get back to the what we've been up to this last week. Well, last year, when I put it around, we had our driveway blacktopped, as you can see. And yeah, I'm sorry, it's a construction zone over here. Yeah, several things, some to be burned. We got a rabbit hutch over here for I'm gonna probably cannibalize in when I build a new chicken coop, which is gonna be soon. Got a week off, but right here where the house line is, we got the driveway blacktop. We added this 10 by 25 foot area in here, and we're looking at sheds right now to put up there to add another building. Hopefully I'll be done with storage then. And this area all right here that had to be excavated back. She plans to plant some daylilies, the kind of poofy ones that go around, so it'll probably look neat right back there. It'll help with the erosion, so that'll be good. Another thing, last week too, I touched on crown vetch. And seeing that little bitty plant and that it didn't seem like much of a hassle or anything. This is what happens when it gets out of control. And 2 years ago, this was a little bitty plant and can spring up anywhere. And this is something the birds planted right here. All these little flowers along the property line here, every one of these was all for something that a bird or a squirrel or something took a seed and buried. All of that. So again, highly invasive. And I'll give you another close-up a little bit, you know, where it has like the fern leaves kind of right here. I mean, it's actually not the worst looking plant, but you ain't gonna have much of your yard left if you don't tame it. So when we're digging out the tree up on the hill, which my son has been doing mostly, at 9 years old, he found a really cool thing of fossils on two rocks, or one rock split in half, that actually fell apart when he dropped a bigger rock. We've been trying to reuse the dirt. We had some leftover topsoil, and we're still just finishing up filling in, using fill for the driveway. So rather than chuck it somewhere, and that you can see right here the line where we used some of the leftover topsoil right there and got some grass seed planted. And yeah, it don't look the greatest, but it'll do. It'll look pretty much normal when the grass fills in. And then down here in front, we started filling in a little bit more of the dirt in that, and we'll plant some more grass seed there. So one side's done. You know, it is about saving money, but it's also about using what you have and reducing your carbon footprint. You know, I'm not going to save the world. And honestly, I have no intention to. I'm trying to be a good steward of what I've been blessed with for my family, for my marriage, and for my life. So that being said, it's all about making the best of what you have. And it really don't matter if you have 100 acres or a 10 square foot plot and an apartment. You make the best of what you have. Use your creativity. I take issue in this whole pandemic thing because that garden was created with a lot of work that we did instead of sitting our rear ends on the couch watching TV nonstop. So, again, when people say, well, you guys are lucky. No, we're not lucky. We worked for it. It was a lot of hard work. And I gotta say, there's a lot of times the wife did a lot more work than I did because I was still working. I was one of those essential employees. And so, a lot of credit in that goes to her for doing that. So, up and down front too, for any future use. A lot of this is buckthorn underneath everything too. We started clearing open some of this space on the property line a little bit more. And we'll be cutting these branches down a little bit more. Not only because it really sucks getting hit in the head with the pine needles on the tractor, but it'd be a little bit better for the trees and get rid of some of the dead stuff. And come over here, some nice shots of Jeannie's flower area, which she did an awesome job on and has been keeping up. We're pretty much done with the greenhouse for the year, and this will stay up what the frame looks like with the cover off. So the ones we have, this is the same stuff that the cage is built out of, and it lasted fine through the winter. So again, as you can see too in the yard, we started reclaiming some of the land right here. That's a neighbor's property line there, so when I think he's getting the hint, he's getting tired of crown veg too. Unless he wants to pay taxes, I guess, on a field full of weeds, which, hey, more power to him. It's his property, not mine. You know, the chives continue to flourish awesomely. Those are the ones we transplanted from the wild last year. So, hopefully next year, this will be completely full. Good signs of life coming in. This apple tree, although it's got to be staked, surprised us. You look, lo and behold, get some little apples started. And that was the biggest one we were concerned about. Another thing we did again too is clearing out this area. And yep, it's still a mess, but we're getting there. And we're caught in a rainstorm. Ain't that lovely? But we have been doing a lot of stuff around here. The one thing, main thing that I enjoy about this, aside of the practicality for food, is the piece I have up here. I'll be honest, I really don't do well all the time in this world as it's become. I don't go way out of my to look for trouble, but I really do have a hard time backing down. This place is and this project has probably been the second biggest blessing of my life. First one, of course, was my marriage to this beautiful woman. And whoa, look at that. Well, at least we're halfway dry underneath the gazebo here, so it ain't all bad. It's not all bad at all. I checked the radar. Hopefully this will blow over soon in that, so might get a little bonus footage on here if I can keep rattling my trap on there. But yeah, it's been a blessing, because to come home and have a peaceful area where you see very little of society, and you can just be one with God, with your family, and enjoy life. There's enough hard crap in life too, and you might want to sit there and figure out what you want to do, and do it to your fullest. It's in the end, if you have to live according to what the world demands and you're not happy, you know, it's your own problem, man. You know, you are responsible for your own happiness. Even when it comes to life choices, it's a lot of times easier to forgive and not forget. And you know, I have a couple of friends of mine going through some real tough times right now. I'm not going to say what they're going through, but I will say I've been through it. It hits me home because they are good friends. But again, I'm not going to say what it is. I've been through it. I can be there for support, but you know, I will not tell either of them which way to go, because it's not my place, and it's not their decision. And honestly, for a selfish point of view, if something in that situation would go wrong, I don't need the guilt. I've had enough personal demons in my life, and I've learned to deal with them. I've learned to get past them. Don't need to revisit that. So, well, I can say right now, if you guys don't mind a little choppy video and possibly a little splotches from the rain, I'll show some highlights from the garden. So this is going to probably be a little bit speeded up tour, because this is our only shelter up here. So anyway, over here is the pyramid structure we built, and what we did, if you look closely around there, there is some more snap peas growing we planted, and we're going to be putting a couple fava beans, which we see, I see 3 of them coming up right now from here. So I'll have to give you a little bit better look later on. One of the best successes we had is over here. These are the snap peas, eggplants, and dill, who have grown exponentially since last week. We're starting to get our snap peas first on there, as you can see right there. And one nice thing with them, you learn that the snap pea flowers actually turn green when there's a pea on there. This mess, these are the daikon radishes covering almost the whole top. And the fava beans are doing awesome. The okra seed that we planted, awesome. And the peppers as well. Well, I guess we're going to go back into here for a bit right here. As a little too wet for my phone and my happiness. So bear with me a minute while I wipe off.